If I were to ask you what is the most terrifying concept in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, you'd probably name the original events. Bodies inside animatronics while they perform on stage in front of children, their blood oozing out and foul smell reeking. Or you'd probably talk about that one sound from the first game, that death rattle the animatronics make when they're at your door. Perhaps you'll start rambling about the bite of 83 and Michael's cruel prank inflicted on his younger brother. But what if I told you that there's a beautifully horrifying concept in the newer era of FNAF, one that was wasted as soon as it was introduced? I want you to imagine this. You're hired to test a new VR game by Fazbear Entertainment, something they made to try and appeal to a modern audience and clean their reputation. While playing, you encounter certain glitches. Nothing that would make the game unplayable, just weird things like this glitchy, staticky asset of a rabbit costume that appears to have stitches looking at you. At first, you don't mind it. Yes, it is a bit creepy and uncanny, but you keep playing anyways. As you progress through the game, the rabbit appears more often, as if the asset itself is stalking you as you play, appearing in more and more areas. It doesn't really do anything, it just stares. You don't mind it. You shouldn't. It's a horror game. Of course the assets will look a little uncanny. You keep playing and eventually discover some tapes you can listen to. Seems like they were placed there by someone who worked on the game. They go on to tell you about something manifesting inside the game.
I saw it for the first time today. There was a character I couldn't make out who it was, standing at the end of the hall. I thought it was just bugged out, so I made a note of it and kept playing. But then it was looking in the window, and not like Chica or Bonnie would. It was like it was actually looking in the window, seeing what I was doing.
The description oddly matches the rabbit you keep seeing. And even more weird, the rabbit seems to be more present the more you listen to the tapes, as if simply by being aware of its existence, you're giving it power and awareness. Eventually, you find yourself addicted to the game, unable to have the will to take the headset off. You need to follow it. You have to. You keep telling yourself that, but is it really you whispering those words? Are you truly the one in charge anymore? Does it even matter? The rabbit is your purpose now. You can't even go an hour without listening to its music box theme now. It is as if your brain has become forever altered into needing that song. As days progress, you can't do anything but listen to the rabbit, get it the freedom it deserves. After all, it is trapped in here just like you. The existential horror of Glitchtrap is unlike anything we've seen before in this franchise. A being trapped inside the game with the ability to brainwash anyone who enters it, it's exactly what started this branch of horror genres. Look back at the old horror of the internet, creepypastas. What better way to start than with Lavender Town, the song that presumably brainwashes people, or Ben Drowned, a haunted video game copy, or Sonic.exe, the existential dread of a godlike being trapped inside a prison of endless code lines and graphics. This is exactly what Glitchtrap could have been if not for one simple mistake. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach was supposed to be the biggest game in this franchise so far, with over-the-top graphics and actual free roaming. I could spend hours talking about the bugs and glitches the game had on its release. But what about the story? Well, the initial story of Security Breach was very different from what Scott wanted it to be. In his interview with Dawko, he spoke about the making of the game, and while that subject could be an entire video on its own, I'm going to give you all a short explanation. While working with Steelwood Studios on the game, Scott treated them like he treated fans. Instead of giving them the full story, he gave them bits and pieces, and Steelwood Studios thought they had to fill in the gaps themselves. And by the time Scott got to see what the game was actually like, it was already too late to change a lot since the release date was approaching. You already know how it went. It was a disaster, and Scott fixed it with the Mimic concept. I have mixed opinions on the Mimic. Personally, I think Scott still could have fixed the lore by using Glitchtrap, and it would have been an insanely good story. Or he could still use the Mimic without completely abandoning Glitchtrap. For example, Glitchtrap could have been a separate Mimic like he is theorized to be, and just believe he is a version of Afton without it actually being Afton. I personally really love the concept of the Glitchtrap followers and what Vanny could have been. Vanny, Vanessa's alter ego, the typical serial killer obsessed fangirl who would do anything her idol or even an AI version of him would prompt her to. I would love to see Scott explore this in a book such as Tales from the Pizzaplex, how AI could influence someone to do extreme things. Even if Glitchtrap and modern FNAF games and concepts get lots of hate, I will forever mourn what Glitchtrap could have been if not for the carelessness of Scott. Thank you for watching this video, and if you want more videos like this, please press that like button. It helps me a lot to know what you people like and want more of. Also, if you're new here, please press that subscribe button to see more. And as always, I will see you on the flip side. Hopefully.